And today's episode, number 185, is how to turn connections into clients. So it should be a great session here.
Yep.
And, you know, for all of those watching, like to extend the offer for each and every one of you to reach out to all the great people on this call. These people, they'll share their time with you. It's our most valuable asset. These people will all share their time with you. And for a virtual cup of coffee, you could learn amazing things from each and every one of them. You don't know who they know. They could be the person that you need to put your business and your life back on track. So without further ado, what we'll do is we'll have each of them introduce themselves, where they're from, and a little bit of what they do. And they'll also put all their information in the chat, so it's all available to everybody. Brian, we'll start with you, followed by Alan.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Brian K. McNeil, and I am hailing out of the city of Charlotte, North Carolina, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. John was correct about the quality of the people in this circle here. Every time you come in this circle, just as I do, you're going to learn some stuff. Every time I come here, I'm better because of the meeting. What I do is I spend my life helping people to sell themselves and their services. I think as we're getting better and better at marketing and better at communication, we're getting poorer and poorer at actually speaking to people. So I teach entrepreneurs and salespeople what to say and what to do so they can sell themselves, which they often forget, and their services better than they ever have before so they can earn more money than ever before. And I do it through my coaching, my workshops, my talks from my platform, or my books. I've written 7 books, and I'm super excited about most of them. I'm excited also about the topic of today. I am certain that I have earned a year's worth of wages just on this topic that we're going to cover today, how to convert interested people into paying clients. So I expect we're going to have a wonderful conversation today, and lucky you for tuning in.
Thanks, Brian. Alan?
Mhm.
Hi, John. Hi, everybody. My name's Alan Edwards. I'm a property investor and developer from Hampshire in the UK. And we take unused or underused buildings, usually of commercial source, and we convert them into high quality residential. I'll give you an example of a recent one that I'm currently working on, where we're taking a closed down care home, so it's care home for old people, and we're going to convert it into specialized supported housing for needy people. So these are people needing care and support 24/7, 365 days a year. And these residents will have an individual 1-bedroom flat each, a large flats, 45 square meters, 450, 500 square feet. And they will have attendant care in the building. The building is 12 flats, so there'll be one flat for carers, and then the rest of the building will be for the residents who need care. So this is their permanent home, and they'll stay there indefinitely. And apart from being a way to help people in need, this is also a very economic way for the government to deal with this sort of care provision. And we're about a third the cost of traditional means of providing care in more established institutions. So it's a win-win all round. The commercial owner, I've been dealing with this lady for a couple of years, and she's got a loss-making building. We're buying it from her. We're creating residential assets, and we're also helping people who are in need of residential accommodation and care. So it's a win-win for everybody. I'll leave my details in the chat box below. If anyone wants to contact me, you'll know how to do it there. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thanks, Alan. That's a great project you got going.
It is. I'm very pleased with this one. It's the first of many. We're doing a whole program of these sort of projects all over the UK, and this is the first one in Bath, and we've got others which we've got basically a pipeline of projects we're working on.
Excellent. Excellent. Keep up the good work. Pat, followed
Thank you.
by Janet.
Yeah, thank you, Alan. I imagine there's a whole lot of buildings available after COVID. It just seems like
Yes,
all the
yes,
commercial and even some residential emptied out
yes,
completely.
that's right. Absolutely, Pat.
Yeah, well, you're doing good work. Thank you.
Thank you.
You betcha. Hey, everybody, I'm Pat Dreyer, and I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, in the US here. And very simply, I show people how to make money. And the way I do this is I use the leverage of a company called My Daily Choice and network marketing as the vehicle to build my home business. And we just show people how to build a business as a consumer. And now once you learn the skills we teach you, you never have to work for someone else ever again. But that's why we got into network marketing. So many of us did. It's just a lot of people doing a little bit. There's so many ways out there to make money in this world, but the average person doesn't know how to even go about any of them. But we found that network marketing is better than any other form of business. And that's really not my opinion. It's turned into a fact, and I can really back it up for you. So I'm looking for a partner. If that's you, I'll show you how to get started for free and help you get some fast results. So connect with me. My details are in the messages, or you can just go to patdryer.com and you'll see what we're doing. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Pat. Janet.
Oops, I just realized I was already unmuted. Hope I wasn't noisy over here. Good morning, everyone. My name is Janet. I'm from Sunshine State of Wellness, coming to you from the sunny state of Florida. I had to check, it is sunny this morning. Born and raised in central Illinois, in a small town of about 2,500 people, now living in Florida. I am passionate about natural wellness solutions that support our bodies every day. I offer two amazing products, super patches, which use neurotechnology to help with focus, energy, pain relief. And I've just added and launched a new product, colostrum. Have you heard about the great benefits of colostrum? I've been using this for about a month. I'm feeling amazing. Gut health has improved. So colostrum is not a supplement. It's actually a whole food, and it's nutrient rich, like over 700 nutrients. It's mind blowing. Anyway, it helps boost gut health, immunity, vitality. So together or separately, these products provide a holistic approach to wellness, depending on what your needs are, to support both mental and physical health. If you're interested in learning more or trying them out, let's connect. I'd love to help you on your wellness journey.
Thanks,
Thank
Amy.
you.
Vangelis, followed by Glenda. Vangelis.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Vangelis. I work with C-level execs, managers, entrepreneurs to improve all their KPIs, like increasing the bottom line, enhancing productivity, improving efficiencies and customer sat, those kind of things. And what I do is I guide the client so that they find out and discover the root causes preventing those KPIs from improving, and like limiting beliefs and sabotaging thoughts, mental, emotional, and spiritual blocks. And I solve problems in those areas by listening and asking questions in a specific way where I do not prompt the person for a specific answer. And I position myself basically as an advisor, an extension of their staff. And some improvements occur that they may not have even considered, like enhancing their business culture, improving their interdepartmental communications, clarity of vision, reduction in investments in training. Basically, my role is a root cause resolution architect.
Excellent. Thank you. Glenda.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for asking me to speak at the moment. I'm Glenda Kroll, and I'm here from Toronto, Canada, and I help women 40 plus to reinvent themselves. So many times we get to this point in life and we look in the mirror and we're disappointed because we're not where we thought we would be. We haven't obtained the things that we're looking to obtain. And many times we've been knocked down by things, whether it be a job that didn't create and go to the levels that we wanted to, maybe the marriage that didn't work, or maybe your kids are now gone and now you're thinking, now what? My job is to help you to rebuild yourself, to fulfill what you're craving, and now to reinvent yourself to be the woman that you really want to be. Through that, we go through and build up your strength, your body, your mind, and your spirits. And most importantly, I also start to teach you about wealth. So if you're interested and you want to learn a little bit more, don't hesitate. Book a call with me for 45 minutes. We can have a talk and it doesn't cost you anything except for your time. So join me and let's have a chat. Thank you.
Thanks, Linda. I'm John D. Allen Small Business Coaching. I work with coaches, financial planners to help these people sign up their ideal clients, to get their calendar filled with ideal clients, the ones who pay the most, take the least amount of work, and you love working with. So if that's the type of client you're looking for, let's connect. I'm in Northern Ontario, Canada. The white stuff's all left the ground, so we're back in business now, and it's warmed up. So looking forward to talking to you, and we can go from there. Today's topic is how to turn your connections into clients. Before we get started, got some apologies. Yvonne Jones, Joy Healy, Dan Fox, Alpha Freeman, Adele, and David. These are all great people. They're normally here. They'll be here next week. And so, let's get on with today's discussion. And who'd like to open it?
Go ahead, Alan.
Yep.
Thanks, Brian. I'm just going to say I have great difficulty in doing this because I've got an inclination to help people, which I do a lot of, and I have difficulty finding the right time to broach the subject of, wouldn't it be nice for you to pay me for the input I'm giving you? Like, I'm helping several groups of people at the moment, and it's quite tricky knowing when they've got the ability to pay you. Now, I'm sure that they probably do have the ability to pay me, but I've got to achieve the skill of raising the subject with them and taking it from a free conversation into a paid conversation. So that's my confession for today.
You're in the right place, my brother.
I was going to say, I think
Yes,
Brian's
I'm
got
in good
a little
company.
bit there.
You're in the right place today.
Yeah,
Let me clear my throat.
Yeah. Please, Brian.
This
Every time
is
you
a
speak, I learn
specialty
a
of
lot
mine.
from you. Yeah.
This is a specialty of mine. Converting the interested people into paying clients. I am certain all of last year, this problem earned me my money. Just this thought. How to convert interested people, because I am of the opinion that we're getting better and better at social media marketing as an entrepreneurial block of people. We're all getting better and better at that. We're getting worse and worse at converting. Here's the secret that is going to be glaringly in your face: how to convert interested people into paying clients. It's a word that we used to use a whole lot more often, but I want to reintroduce the word to you. It's only 3 letters long. The word is called ask. A-S-K. Mm-hmm. Ask for the business. Today, it is so prevalent. The desire to be liked is so high, and the desire to be the buddy is so high that they won't risk it at all by never even asking for the business. Typical entrepreneurs today never ask for the business at all, or they'll ask once or twice and then never again. Asking for the business is the secret. Now, what I'm about to say is the difference between the people that make the sales from the people who almost make the sales, okay? And there is a difference. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs that always almost make the sale, and it's painful for them. Asking is one, but how you ask. And this is how I want you to ask, Alan. I want you to say these words, and it's timing too. Once you believe they fully understand what they're getting, and you decide when that is. Once you believe they fully understand the benefits of working with you, and that can happen early or late, it doesn't matter when, but once you believe they fully understand what they're getting for your services, say these words. Will you give our services a try? Will you give my business a try? Will you give me a try? Will you give us a try in such a non-threatening way to ask for the business? Ask them once you understand, and here's the thing, you have to give them enough information for you to believe that they understand it. And you're the only one that gets to decide when that is. You don't ask them until you believe they understand what they're getting. But once you believe they understand, say the words, will you give us a try, and shut your mouth and make them respond. Okay? I'm certain that will be helpful.
That's brilliant, Brian. Thank you so much. Yeah.
That's great. I used to teach the salespeople that worked with me, you got to ASK to GET.
Yes.
If you don't ask, you don't get. Plain and simple. Another one you can use, Alan, to go along with what Brian just shared is, where do we go from here? Right? Just, again, it's non-threatening. You have to create the trust. No
Yes.
light comes later. You know, they're not looking for a new best friend. They're
Sure.
looking for somebody to solve their problem. So,
Sure.
you know, show them how you can solve their problem and then ask.
Yeah.
Let me piggyback on where do we go from here if I could. I don't want to dominate today. But
Mhm.
where do we go from here, or what would you like to do next? Those are Sandler systems, those things that they teach. I have a little bit of challenge with that, but because you have to be ready. When you ask them, where do you want to go from here, or what would you like to do next? If they don't know the answer, I don't know what to do next, so I don't know where we go from here. You got to be ready to give them one, or you got to be ready to suggest one. So if you feel comfortable saying, where do you want to go from here? If they can't answer that, and a lot of times they can't, because they don't know what the next steps are, you have to be able to, well, typically from here, what we'll do is we'll schedule this, or we'll do that, or we'll exchange information, or you'll give me some money, or we'll get started. So if they don't know what the next step is, you have to tell them what it is. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
Thanks,
Brian.
guys. That's fantastic.
Vangelis.
I used to go teach these workshops to teach salespeople and engineers how to speak with customers. And Alan, a little bit like you, I was conditioned growing up to think of others first, always help people. And I ended up helping people that never asked for help. And even though I followed all of the techniques, and I would go to these seminars and I would see 500 people up on the stage. It looks impressive, but there's 9,500 people not on stage. These are the people that followed everything and the principles and everything works. And I thought, everybody heard the same information. So it's not the content, it's not the teacher. Why only 500 and the other 9,500 can't do it? And so I started making the connection of the same reason things were happening with me is I was conditioned a certain way of thinking, and that's the energy I offered. I'm here to help you. And if you can't afford it, that's okay, because my first thing is to help you. So I had to change the way I thought. I really had to make a lot of changes to my belief systems, the way that I was taught, the way that I was indoctrinated. And that's basically what I do now is I help people that have gone to classes, they have all the books, but it just doesn't work for them. And I've noticed the same thing that happened to me was I was thinking these thoughts that I'm here to help. And that's almost like I was wearing a sign. Don't pay, I'll do it for free, because that's how I was taught. And once I changed that sign, then everything else started working. All the things that Brian talks about, because I was going, why is this not, there's something I'm missing. And some people, no matter what they did, they made a sale because they had this sign, I'm successful no matter if I screw up. You know, and so it's these other things that I just didn't realize were there. And once I changed my thinking, my mental blocks, all that stuff, then all this great information started making sense and started working for me. So that's kind of what happened with me. And now I can take the information, like what Brian and everyone is saying here, and it's actually working for me because I don't have that sign on my forehead anymore. Yeah.
That's great. Appreciate that, Vangelis. Janet, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, this is great. I'm taking notes. I kind of feel like I have to evolve a little bit in my mindset because I've been so conditioned to focus on attraction marketing. So my whole mindset sometimes is, and I project onto others, like, man, this is so good. I was so excited to get this. Why aren't you? But that kind of mindset, that attraction marketing, which has been drilled into my head for a while, I don't really do the simple things like ask or, you know, what do you want to do? I am learning to be more permission based, like, you know, do you want to learn more? Is it okay? But to just ask is not in my mindset or vocabulary. So it's
But are
a
you
very
willing
simple thing
to?
to do. I am, and I am becoming, you know, yes, I am totally like getting out of that mindset, like, you know, oh, I know everything or everybody says this, but I am now like taking instruction, listening to people, and it's very helpful and I love it.
You're
I've
growing.
always just focused on being someone's friend and not being, you know, pushy or, you know, I've just focused on, you know, being friends. And I was taught, there are many coaches that have taught me, you know, you have to be friends. They have to like you. They have to, and I'm learning that's not really true at all. Because you go to a store and you buy things, you don't necessarily love the person behind the beauty counter or whatever. So amen to that. I'm, you know, because I mean, that takes years. Wow. If somebody has to like me, not that I'm not likable, but I'm just thinking that is just total BS because you buy things all the time from people that you don't maybe like or know. So I've spent years focusing on that. Well, let's see, they've been on my Facebook feed now for 10 years. Do they know me enough now to ask? It's crazy.
They only have to like you enough to hear your story. They can't dislike you, but they have to like you just enough to hear your story. That's all. Okay. They don't have to like you enough to be in your wedding either. Okay. And this, I had to suppress the urge to go ugh when I heard some of the stuff that you were doing, Janet, because I know it's been taught. Attraction marketing, attraction marketing, attraction marketing, and this whole concept of how to make sales without selling is so sexy and it's so easy to do, and it sounds so desirable to make sales without selling. And you just do this and you attract them, be their friend, you're gonna make money. The problem is no one gives them money because they like you. They don't. They don't. They'll if I ask a group of 100 people, why would anybody do business with you? You'll hear stuff like, because I'm passionate, because I'm compassionate, because I love people, because I really, really care, because I'm hardworking, because I'm honest, because I've experienced, been doing this for 21 years. I got 3 degrees in doing this. I'm fun. I'm funny. All of those things are things that make people like you and not give you money. That's what that does. All of those things are things that make people like you and not hire you. There's a lot of people that you know that are in business that you really, really like, but you've never done business with, because you don't have a reason to. And there's a lot of people that really, really like you, and they've never done business with you because they don't have a reason to. But there are some reasons that you have. You just got to make a little bit of shift in how you talk about it. For example, time is a reason to do business with you. Are you going to help them to achieve a result faster? Or are you going to save them time in some ways? And put it on your creativity cap. You know, like if I was in Glenda's business, she helps women to go from their current levels of current economies to a more prosperous economy much faster with her help than without her help. That's a good reason to hire her. Time. The other one is money. Are you going to save them money in some area or help them to earn more money in an area, or both? For most of us, it's both with just a little bit of creativity. If you start talking about your business through these filters, it's much better than how much they like you. You know, it's much better than what a great guy you are. I don't even let people hire me because I'm a great guy. When they agree to do business with me, I say, great, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to working with you. But before I send you this invoice, before I dare send you an invoice, please tell me, why did you decide to hire me? Now, this is the time I'm looking for a really, really logical answer. If they say stuff like, well, Brian, because you're a great guy, I've seen you around. No, I have to give them a good reason. I want to hear the kind of thing that they would tell their friends or neighbor, because I've been needing this forever. And you're the first person that's been able to pour to me something that's immediately actionable that I can use. They have to say something that they can see immediately actionable for themselves or a benefit to themselves. That's a good client. Anything other than something that they would tell someone else is not. But time, money, good feelings. Are you going to help them to feel better about themselves like now? A lot of them need help. Even if they've been messing it up by the numbers until the moment they had that conversation with you. You can't make them feel worse. You have to help them to feel better about themselves. Just having the conversation with you is a step in the right direction. Or can you help them to imagine other people having a higher opinion of them, or both? Good feelings, time, and money. Those are reasons why people will do business with you way faster than how much they like you or how a great guy you are. You help them to do these things right here and just get a little bit of creativity in it. All of you will close greater. Everyone who watches this will close at a much higher percentage, just simply understanding why people want to give their money.
I've had the privilege of talking to two of Brian's clients. Both of them speak very highly of him for those very reasons that he's just talked about. And it was interesting because both of them said, have you ever heard of Brian McNeil? I said, oh yeah, I know Brian quite well. You know, this is what he's done for me. So use the information Brian's giving you. And Janet, like I said earlier, they're not looking for a new best friend. They don't have to like you to know you. They don't even really have to know you. But what they have to do is they have to trust you. They have to trust you enough to say, wow, she's got what I need. And when they trust you, you said it earlier, you don't have to like the person at that counter, at the cosmetic counter or whatever, but you got to trust them that they're going to give you the product or the best information they can. That's what people are looking for. So, you know, and it's something we can all use. This is great so far. Patrick, how about you?
Well, I was going to add on to that. There's three things that people want when they are talking to you about this. They want to know why would I do business with you, right? And then they want to know, what do you do? And then they want to know if they can do it. So if you give them all three of those answers and you make it look simple, they're going, well, I can do that. And that's why, like I told everybody, when I'm doing our business, we try to do as little as possible so that they don't have to think that, oh my God, I got to open a website, I got to build a team, I got to build a group. But you try to make it as simple as you can so that they can get started immediately. But what we do when we connect with people over here, what I do is, while I'm talking to them, I'll figure out what we're doing, and I'll figure out what kind of gift can I give this person, whether it be some content or a link to a book or a discussion of some kind. So I give them that book, and then after that, you find that you've made a connection. And Brian, you gave me this word a while back. I knew it, I just didn't remember it. Reciprocity. So they feel obligated. And so when you ask them, can you do me a huge personal favor, please? I'd really appreciate it. they're asking, oh my God, what's he going to ask? But at the same time, they're going, well, of course I can. What is it? And then I just go ahead and I promote and edify somebody else that has had super success with what we're doing. And I finish it with, after looking at this, I know for a fact that you're going to think of people that we can help. And then I share a link with them for an effective video and wait for a response.
Thanks, Pap.
Yeah. But then also, Vangelis, on some of the stuff that you were talking about, I'm kind of the same way. Because it's like, if they were to ask you, what's a secret about Pat Dreyer that we don't know? And it's like, I like to help people. I really do. And if you ask, I'm gonna. And typically for no money. But on the other hand, other side of that, I had an issue with my water main into the house, right? And so this was last Sunday, and I knew I could dig it up and get it fixed real quick. Well, it was underneath 10 inches of cement. I could reach it, but it was like, if this is where the pipe is coming into the house, it was like 2 inches over underneath 10 inches of cement. And so I went to Home Depot. I brought my neighbor over, and he's looking at it. He goes, here's what you need to do. So I got a jackhammer, and I dug it out, and I dug all the cement out. I got down to it, and then all of a sudden I'm going, oh man. Number two, it's PVC connected to copper. And I'm going, I have no clue how to make that work. How do you put something over that and make it work? Because I had fixed one about 7 years ago, so I knew it was going to be simple. So I run to Home Depot at the same time. My neighbor and his grandson are finishing digging that hole for me. And then he's down in the bottom of that, and he cuts it up, fixes it up, takes all the stuff that I brought and finishes it. He wouldn't take any money, but I asked him if I could give his grandson some. And when I gave it to him, I said, look, I'm going to do something here. And I handed him some money. He says, no, I can't take that. And I said, no, you don't understand. I said, you helped me from your heart. I said, I appreciate that. But you have to understand that what you did has value, and you have to accept what I give you because I'm giving it to you out of my heart. And so please accept this and graciously accept it from me, please. So I was trying to teach him how to be accepting and get what he gets. So, and hopefully in the future, instead of turning down money, he'll graciously accept it.
So glad you paid him. And I'm so glad you got him to take it. He would have blocked somebody's blessings if he wouldn't have took it. And it could have been his own or yours or someone down the line. That's what I learned. You blocking blessings if you're not willing to accept. Okay.
Glenda, how about you?
My way of going through things is really connecting with someone and asking them about themselves. You know, it's the keys of the questions to coming together and finding out more about them and finding out where their pain points are, why they haven't gotten to where they're looking to go, what's stopping them, what's holding them back. Then I sort of lead into, from that point, I start to talk about my story and tell them what I have been able to accomplish. And when I give them, you know, the lowdown of my stories, which in most cases blow people away because I've been through so much in my life, it's the idea of saying, well, wouldn't you like to learn what I've been through, but in a much shorter span? And instead of going through, because it's taken me years to get to where I am, how about we shorten this down? And when we work together, it can really bring down the time frame from having the pain that you're going through and changing that so you can build yourself up and having success at a much earlier time. I get more yeses from that point because I'm also, and John, you know this about me as well. I'm not here to assist you to your pity party. I'm a really no nonsense coach, mentor, whatever. It's about being really real. I'm not going to allow you to be the victim in your life. You need to be the victor. And through the way I connect with people, it really changes everything because I'm just really straight and honest. And, even if I need to even offer a second conversation by giving them something to read, something that will help them to understand other things about themselves, sooner than later, it rolls into a client relationship.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
you just keep dripping on them because there
Yeah.
are, like Brian said, the right people. So you have to have the right people at the right time, and you're going to know when you don't, and you just keep dripping on them. Just keep loving on them, if you will.
The idea is I will listen to people because I'm not here for all people. And I'm not going to push myself on anybody. But, being honest and being straightforward is if I can help them, then, and I know somebody that can, then definitely I'm here to help people. That's my whole thing in my life. It's always been. I've always been there, and I grew up um, having to be, I was a people pleaser, and I went through all that because of my life. But most importantly, now I realized my own worth and that I had to stop by doing for everything for others, and that I deserved to get paid for the value that I can create in someone else. And it's also teaching them of their value, because when we look at it as being worthy and knowing our own worth, it's wanting to speed up their transition, just like Brian had said. Speed builds that urgency, and we don't want to spend any more time. Like, I'm talking to women 40 plus. How much more time do we know what tomorrow's going to bring? How much more time are you going to keep on this hamster wheel by going and speaking to so on and so on and so on? Let's start changing life, and let's start doing things. Let's get real about ourselves. And when you start talking in that type of way, that's been my magic sauce.
Excellent. Thank you. Lydia, I know you just joined us. If you could share a little bit about you, where you're from, and, what you do, and then we can go from there. You there, Lydia? We can come back to her, Brian.
All right, I have a couple of things. 2 words. Well, first word I want to give you is, I'm going to do it one at a time. There are so many people that you have bought from in your lifetime because the person that offered it to you was convicted themselves. They believed in it, and their belief in what they were offering. That knife salesman at the fair, it cuts this and that and the other thing. That's one of the best sales we ever saw. Was a guy at a state fair. You believed he loved the knives. And I ended up buying some of them, and I couldn't believe it because I was caught up in his conviction. When I listened to Glenda and Pat Dreyer, you really believe that they believe. The question goes back to, and me, if you don't think I believe in what I'm saying, do you believe I believe in what I'm saying? Because I'm really convicted in what I'm saying. But the question is, if they hire you, if they buy what you're offering, are they better off? And the follow-up question is, are you sure? And the follow-up question to that is, are you really sure that they're better off? Now, if you're really sure that they're better off giving you whatever money you ask and doing whatever you ask them to do, if you're really sure, then you owe it to them to motivate them to take your solution. Selling today is an act of motivation more so than it has ever been before. It's more motivational now than it has ever been. We've gone through the transactional phase. We've gone through the information age. Now it's an idea of the game is to motivate them to get from dead center to do something, motivating them to do something. I used to eschew how powerful motivation was, but I'm learning that motivation is more important than the act of transacting business today than it has ever been before. Motivating them that they can do it. I loved Pat Dryer's thing. Can they do it? And this has been a challenge for me in my business most of the time, or some of the time, Pat, because sometimes when people hear me give a talk, and then when I tell them what to do, and they say, well, sure, Brian can do that because he's that guy, but can I do it too? So I always need loving reminders that I have to convey that this is something that they can do too, because they can have that in their head. Only he could do it. I can't speak like him, so that's very important. But conviction matters. And I wanted to lift up something that Alan said in the beginning today, thinking about their wallet. I don't want you to do that anymore. This is going to sound harsh maybe. I'm going to ask you to choose to never believe anybody when they say they can't afford it. People always find money for what they want. You can't call them a liar, but believe that everyone, even the person that doesn't have $1 million company or has a small salary, they may have less debt, okay, than the person that has a big salary or a big house or big or whatever. Just don't believe them. Don't consider it. If they say it's too expensive, it's because it's not high enough priority to them yet. People always find money for what they want. They can have no money in the bank at all, but if a trip opportunity comes up and they want to take the trip, they'll find the $800 for the trip. Okay.
Yeah.
They'll find
there's another objection to it. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. The same thing with tires. They pop 2 tires on the road. They will find money for it. If they come home and the water heater's blown up, they're going to find money to replace the water.
Refrigerator breaks down, they'll buy a new one.
It's all a matter of priorities. And there's another objection to it.
I like what Glenda, some of the things that you were saying. For me to find my ideal client really, really helped me, because if someone can identify with you, they're usually listening to your story and they're going, oh my gosh, that happened to me. And that makes them realize they can do it too. And another thing that really helped me, what you were saying, Glenda, I am not here for everybody. That's why this beautiful group, someone's going to identify with one of us, not all of us, because that's part of their life. They say, oh my gosh, yes, Alan, yeah, Pat and John and Janet and Brian, all these things they'll identify. And that's why telling your story rather than living in it is so key. Because I used to live in my story. Now I don't anymore. It's a story I tell so that other people can say, oh yeah, that happened to me. And well, this is where I am today. Oh my gosh. So you could bring me to where I am right now to where you are. Yes. So just those couple of things, collapsing time and knowing I'm not here for everybody has really brought me a lot of peace, because I'm not trying to sell to 1,000 people. I mean, I actually put some numbers together. There's 8 billion people. If I get 0.00001, 8,000 people, that will take me 8 years. 1,000 people a year, several $1 million if I only charge $1,000 per person. I'm fine with that. Yeah. I don't need 1 million followers. And that also helped me too. So just really making it real for me, and just those type of ideas, those are the things that really help shift me into helping those that are ready. Because if they're like me, I don't need anyone to follow up anything on me. So I'm really looking for people like me. And I'm sure there's 8,000 people on the planet that don't need a follow-up. They got the money and they're ready. So that's what really helped me.
That's great. Brian?
I want to just encourage you guys. I sent Vangelis a direct message to ask if he was published in any way. I do believe life changes once you're published. And it could be books or articles. And you can publish on LinkedIn easily, because I find the articles that I write on LinkedIn and publish it on my LinkedIn, when you Google search, those LinkedIn articles pop up. So you can publish on LinkedIn and make it very, very easy to publish an article on LinkedIn. But publish or perish, so many schools have that concept. When you publish in any kind of way, you become the authority on the topic. Okay, so I'm encouraging you, especially guys who make money with what they know, thought leaders particularly. I do encourage you guys to publish. I still got about 3 minutes before I have to go, but I love this conversation. And Vangelis, you are correct. There will be someone on here that does not hear me. They can't hear my language, but they can hear yours or Glenda's. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. You don't want to sell everybody. You only want to sell the people that it's always fit before fee. People that fit with you and your personality and the way you work and the rate of speed at which you work. If they don't fit those 3 areas, they shouldn't be for you.
That is so true. You know, they have to, like you said, Brian, they have to identify with you. And Vangelis, we've all said the same thing. Because everybody here knows that if they don't identify with you and they become your client, 99.9 times out of 100, A, they're not going to do what you say. B, your program sucks because it's not their fault. They didn't do it.
Right.
It's yours. So this is where, you can't be everything to everybody. You need to work with your ideal prospects. You need to narrow it down, because when people say, well, they're breathing, they qualify. No, that doesn't work. Maybe if you're Walmart, that might help you, but since none of us are Walmart, and the other thing is there's no prize for being second cheapest. So when you try to be the cheapest on the block, somebody can always beat you. So there's no prize for being second cheapest. Be up near the top. Be the prize that people want to have, not the one that, oh God, well, he's the cheapest, so I'll go with, he or she's the cheapest, so I'll go with them. Lydia
No
was
one
saying,
wants to buy from lowest price.
right.
Not about
Lydia
price.
Lydia was saying she's having problems with her mic. That's why she's not speaking up. So,
Yeah.
Well,
I put in
quick
freebie
freebie is cheap. Yeah.
Go ahead, Pat.
Well, I was going to say before we go, I just had a quick weird thought as I'm looking at the gallery right here, and I see everybody all festive and in different, and here I am in all these dark clothes with my white hair, and I figured if I just had this little white collar on, I could be a vicar, a priest. I mean,
I posted a scripture, Matthew 7:7. It says, "Ask, seek." See, it says, "Seek and ye shall find. Ask and knock." It's ask, seek, and knock. Matthew 7:7. For everyone who asks, everyone who seeks, and everyone who knocks, they will get it. But you have to seek for it. You have to ask for it. You have to ask for it, seek it, and knock on the doors. I do have to run.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Okay.
you bet. Brian, good to see you.
All right. Have a good one, Brian.
Cheers, Brian.
So sometimes if you don't charge enough, depending on your client, like many of my clients are CEOs and executives. Some of them make $1 million a year. So for me to charge $1,000, they're thinking, is there something wrong with it? So you really have to know your client too. I work with some people in Nigeria. They make $3,000 a year. So $1,000 a month is 1/3 their salary. So it all depends on who I'm speaking with. And what I normally say, and it's interesting, I say, how much money would make you hurt if you didn't do it? They say, oh, well, you charge me this. Yeah. Because if it's $100 and they don't do it, they go, yeah. So how much money would it make you hurt if you didn't do it? And surprisingly, they know that number. And that's okay. Well, that's what I charge. So there's not one way to do this stuff. And that's the other thing I've also figured out, because I really don't like formulas too much, because everything has so many different dynamics and pieces to it. So you kind of use your intuition as to how to approach it.
One of the things I learned from one of my mentors is he does that, like depending on who he's talking to, that determines his rate. And he quoted this one guy, $5,000 a month. And the guy said, that's a lot of money. And the question he'd asked before is, what does this cost you so far? The guy said about $100,000. So he said, $5,000 is a lot cheaper than what you lost. And you keep on losing. Is it worth it to you? And the look on, it was a recorded deal. The look on the guy's face was, oh yeah, $5 grand is cheaper. If I can help make back this $100 grand, it's money at a discount. And the guy thought, that's a heck of a deal. And he went ahead and did it. But when he first heard the $5 grand, it's, oh God, that's expensive.
So why he's losing all that money?
Yeah. What's it costing you right now? $5 grand's a whole lot cheaper than what you're losing. So again, price is relevant. And, just like Vangelis said, when you come across too cheap, it's what's wrong with it. I talk to a lot of new coaches and people that haven't made a lot of money, and then they say, oh God, you want that much? Okay. What are your services worth? I had one lady.
That's you're right, John, because it's how you value yourself. If you don't value yourself like that, why would he do work with you?
Yep. I was talking to one lady. She's a new coach starting out. So I said to her, how many years experience have you got? 30. I said, so that doesn't make you a new coach. That means you've got 30 years experience to share with people. You can have a reasonable rate. You're not new on the block. You're new into this part of it. All you're doing is transitioning into a different industry, but you've got a ton of experience behind you. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, that they have all this experience behind them, but they don't want to charge for it. We've
John,
all
I like
seen
the example you gave, John, was great, because I don't really have a rate. It's whatever it's worth to you. A company from Chicago called me and their network was down. And I spoke to the VP. I said, how much do you guys make in an hour? They said $1 million. And how long have you been down? A whole day. So what, $24 million? Well, I charge different for you than someone who makes $1,000 an hour. You can't just go, this is how much I charge, because it was very key, John. What is the value I bring to you? What am I actually resolving? So if I'm resolving, you're getting $1 million drained from you every hour versus $1,000 drained from you every hour, it's a total different price. So again, it's what is the value? Tell me what the value is to you.
One of the examples I use is, if I came to you and you could buy a brand new 2024 Lincoln Continental for $20,000, would you buy it? First question, everybody says, well, what's wrong with it? Or is it hot? It's an expensive car, especially here in Canada. So they look at it and say, well, there's something wrong with it. No. But again, it's the relevant of how relevant your price is, relevance to what it's costing them.
And Glenda, when you're talking about what is the value of having a different life, that's priceless, right?
But you see, until you put that out to somebody, they don't even think of it in that way. And when you can change your life in a fairly easy way by somebody guiding you, it's the world. Your whole world can change by just doing certain things. And wouldn't you rather have a day where the sun is shining than have a day where you're sitting in the clouds? And that's what it really turns into being, because some people live in their misery. And, to me, when you talk about living in your misery, that's like living with cancer. And that's how I take it. Even if you had it, there's, mindset is everything. And I think that one of the worst things that's happened today is that people overuse that word of mindset. It's mindset. Everybody just thinks, oh, it's nothing, blah, 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 blah. But it's really true on how you really start and look at your day, what the gratitude that you have, for some of the most horrendous things that I have been through my life. And I'm meaning like being paralyzed, being knocked down, going over a cliff. I've been through it, a lot of things. but I can still find the sun shining in every single thing. And I can still find those lessons that have built me to where I am today. So really, it comes to the thing of, if you can't do this yourself, then you better on go and find somebody that can help you to get there. Because at this point, if you're 40 plus, I don't know about you guys, but the years have shot by so fast. And they're not slowing down anytime soon. So it is really imperative that you don't waste more of your life, because it's, like I said, it becomes a cancer where it eats away. And never mind does it do it to your life, but it does it to the people around you. Because when you have that type of outlook in life, I can tell you that your children are feeling it, your spouse is feeling it, and probably the people you're working are feeling it, because you'll be that type of person that they'll be saying, "Oh God, here she comes."
Choices.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was great. Lydia, do you want to put your information in the chat so people can reach out to you? Need you to do it quick because we're just about to wrap up the call. Can somebody send me the chat? Because for whatever reason, it's not letting me save it. Peter's doing on the recording, but he won't be able to save the chat. So thanks, Glenda. Lydia, if you can let me know when your information's in there, then we'll end the call. And it's been great. I really appreciate everybody's input. This has been a very valuable call, and I think we've all learned a lot. Thank you to everybody for all their help and everything.
Thank you, everybody. It was great
Yep.
seeing y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all. Have a great day, everybody.